Melania Trump's lawsuit against The View has ignited a political and media firestorm. The $900 million defamation suit, initially celebrated by conservatives as a decisive stand against left-wing media bias, has faced relentless obstruction. ABC's legal team has filed appeal after appeal, stalling the payout while attempting to dismiss the case under the guise of protecting free speech. Meanwhile, the media establishment has launched a full-scale counterattack, painting Melania not as a victim of slander, but as a manipulative figure using the courts for political gain. Democratic leaders like Elizabeth Warren, Adam Schiff, and Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez have condemned the lawsuit as an attack on journalism. Simultaneously, major outlets like The Atlantic, Politico, and The New York Times have engaged in a coordinated effort to shift public perception. Their strategy is clear: Melania must be recast as the aggressor rather than the defamed party. The smear campaign has intensified, with MSNBC airing an exclusive interview featuring an anonymous source claiming that Melania secretly despises Donald Trump and has been plotting to leave him. The story, devoid of evidence, was amplified across major left-leaning platforms. CNN went further, drawing comparisons between Melania and Hillary Clinton, alleging she was leveraging the lawsuit for personal power. On social media, thousands of Democratic influencers pushed the hashtag #MelaniaScam, portraying her as a grifter capitalizing on victimhood. But amid this storm, the real question emerged: why was the left so desperate to defend The View? If the lawsuit was frivolous, why was the entire Democratic machine rallying to protect a mid-tier talk show? The answer became apparent when a bombshell leak exposed an internal ABC email detailing a months-long effort to shape the narrative against Melania. The document revealed that The View's hosts were instructed to portray Melania as cold, detached, and only staying with Trump for financial reasons. More than a casual media bias, this was a deliberate, premeditated smear campaign designed to erode her credibility before any lawsuit could gain traction. The leak sent ABC into full crisis mode. Fact-checkers scrambled to dismiss the email as fake, but cybersecurity analysts confirmed its authenticity. Meanwhile, The View fell into silence, refusing to address the controversy, while CNN and MSNBC conspicuously stopped covering the lawsuit altogether. The once unified media front was fracturing. ABC sponsors, unwilling to be associated with an exposed propaganda machine, began pulling their funding. Even Disney, ABC's parent company, started weighing whether The View had become more of a liability than an asset. Fox News and conservative commentators seized the moment, exposing the systemic manipulation at play. Elon Musk took to X, formerly Twitter, declaring, "The media industrial complex is collapsing in real time." Republican lawmakers, sensing an opportunity, called for congressional investigations into media collusion with Democratic operatives. The lawsuit was no longer just about Melania. It had become a reckoning for left-wing media. ABC, recognizing the growing damage, quietly approached Melania's legal team with a settlement offer, hoping to end the lawsuit before it unraveled further secrets. But the cost of surrender was high. High-profile resignations loomed over The View, with Whoopi Goldberg and Joy Behar reportedly considering leaving the show. Sunny Hostin, at the center of the defamation case, faced mounting pressure as advertisers fled. With its credibility shattered and legal costs mounting, The View was spiraling toward collapse. Melania, however, wasn't satisfied with merely winning the lawsuit. In a defiant statement, she vowed to continue the fight for media accountability, ensuring that no one else would have to endure similar slander. Conservative voices amplified her call, positioning her as a symbol of resistance against corporate media manipulation. Tucker Carlson declared, "This isn't just about Melania, it's about every conservative they've tried to destroy." The fallout extended far beyond The View. Inside the White House, senior officials explored legislative options to reform defamation laws, potentially making it easier to hold media companies accountable for politically motivated falsehoods. Elon Musk announced plans to fund independent journalism, directly challenging traditional media's monopoly on information. Meanwhile, Democrats, seeing the tide turn against them, scrambled to contain the damage. Strategists warned that this lawsuit was only the beginning. If The View could be exposed, then CNN, The New York Times, and MSNBC could be next. Then came the final escalation. Republican lawmakers formally demanded an investigation into ABC's ties with Democratic operatives, seeking full transparency on whether mainstream media had coordinated political narratives with left-wing politicians. The implications were staggering. If proven, it could trigger one of the largest political scandals in modern history. The left's media empire, long protected from scrutiny, was now under siege. Amidst the chaos, Trump and the Republican Party seized the moment, pushing for sweeping legal reforms. Proposals were introduced to limit media protections, making it easier for individuals to sue for defamation and hold networks accountable. If passed, this legislation would mark the most significant shift in media oversight in decades. The Democratic establishment panicked, fearing a future where their once dominant media allies could no longer shield them from accountability. What began as a single defamation lawsuit had become a political earthquake. The View may have been the first casualty, but the real war had just begun. The question was no longer whether The View would survive, but whether this lawsuit marked the beginning of the end for left-wing media's unchecked power. For the first time in decades, the system that had manipulated public perception for political gain was on the verge of collapse.